Right, good morning guys, welcome back after Whitsun half term. I hope you've had a good break. Today's lesson is really just going to kind of run through where we're at and where we need to get to before we finish the year. We've only got 3 weeks of term left, so the remainder for those 3 weeks, well, one key focus is going to be on completing the next assignment from Unit 17. And this is where the Unit 17 sort of changes focus quite a lot. It's going to sort of move away from research-based assignments more to your sort of own creativity, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Okay, key thing is to try and get, is to ensure that all the assignments that we've covered so far, including P3, which will be due in next week, have all been completed to pass standard. So I'll talk about that as well, and if we can get that foundation in place before we break up, that's a great position to come in back in September and build upon to complete Unit 17. So that's a fundamental part of re-enrollment. And then P3, it's not such a substantial assignment, so it will leave us some time at the end of the year to do some IT skill building, and with a particular focus on using Excel. Okay, so yeah, now the key message here is requirements for year 2 enrolment, and if you're wanting to have a trouble-free, smooth progression onto year 2, then it's quite straightforward in IT. You basically need to have evidence the fact that you've met this second requirement here, the completion of all the assignments in Unit 17 that we've covered since since the end of March, really. Okay, so how do you actually know if you've completed those assignments? Well, just a reminder, you've got the tracking spreadsheet which you can access on Teams, and if you've got a pass mark in all 5 of these first columns, then that's fantastic. You've done an excellent job, and you're in a position to just progress straight on to year 2 with no problems whatsoever. So I think the key messages over the next week or so is to really focus on those marked pieces of work, or those near pass pieces of work. Look at the comments and get them resubmitted, and tell me that you've resubmitted them as well, so that I can check them straight away and hopefully get those up to the pass grade. But some of you, the majority of you really are making a fantastic effort with these assignments, and yeah, it would be a really good achievement if we can get everyone to fully pass each of these particular assignments. So yeah, that's a big focus, and you could start that today if you wish. Okay. Final thing that I'll just talk about then is the next assignment. So I'll introduce this more formally tomorrow, but it's one to start thinking about. And for P3, it's going to rely on your sort of creativity and your inventiveness. And what we have to do in this particular section is actually generate new business ideas for potential Internet of Everything products. Okay, now you're going to be expected to come up with 3 different ideas, and so the target for this week is going to be to generate those ideas as a class. We'll share those ideas, and then it'll be up to you to decide which ones you want to take forward and develop. The idea, just a couple of things that you need to be aware of in relation to coming up with your proposal for a new IoT product. You must be able to kind of relate it to one of these categories. Okay, so it must be able to sit in one of these categories. So for example, if I was inventing a Fitbit, then obviously that would sit in the category of body and health. Okay, but you need to try and come up with a brand new idea, a brand new product. So you can't use Fitbit as your product unless you've got a brand new feature that you think it could include, or sort of give it a unique selling point that makes it different from fitness trackers already on the market, for example. So the product can literally be anything. It just needs to sit in one of those categories, and it must have those characteristics of an IoT device in terms of it must include some sensors, and it must have a reason for transmitting and collecting data and communicating that data elsewhere. Okay, so start thinking about that. Start thinking about potential ways that you could improve existing products, or you might even have a brand new product idea. That would be absolutely great, that you could invent and sort of consider as being a potential business proposal. So think of Dragon's Den, and think of those, the show where the people go and they try and sell their new idea to the dragons to try and get investment. That's kind of the approach that we're sort of taking to this particular unit. The only other thing that I want you to think about here as well is the target market. So just one sort of slight stipulation that you've got to kind of tie in here is that the product must be aimed at people of your own age. Okay, so 16 to 18 year olds must want to buy this device. Okay, must be part of the potential market. Okay, I mean, it could be broader than just 16 to 18, but they need to be included within the market. Okay, they'd need to be potential consumers of this product. Okay, so that's the key thing. And to start thinking about ideas there, you could maybe start jotting down things that you come to mind, and then I'll talk a little bit more tomorrow about what I want you to detail in terms of submitting some ideas to me to share back with you guys ultimately. Okay, so if I just go back to the start slide, as I said, key focus in the next few weeks, finishing the next assignment. So this is the last new assignment P3 that I'll introduce. Then it's a case of getting the spreadsheet up to date and getting passes in all the assignment boxes, and then we're going to finish with some skills building. Okay, and if you can tick all those 3 boxes, then that's enough evidence to progress onto year 2, and there will be no issues come September from my side. Okay, so yeah, I hope you're all well, guys, and keep up the good work, and yeah, let's finish this year off.